The North Korean War began on June 25, 1950. The North Korean Army crossed the 38th parallel, the dividing line between the American and Soviet war zones. The war was about international communism. American officials wanted an armistice with North Korea, which was a truce to end the fighting. The alternative would be a wider war with Russia or China, which could lead to World War III. Korea had been a part of the Japanese Empire, but after World War II, it fell to the Americans and Soviets. Ruler of the South, Syngman Rhee, enjoyed the reluctant support of America. Ruler of the North, Kim Il-sung, enjoyed the Soviet support.
Neither ruler wanted to stay on their side. People feared Kim Il-sung because they knew his intentions were more than just a dispute over a border. The North Korean army was very disciplined, well-trained, and well-equipped. Meanwhile, Rhee's forces were frightened, confused, and wanted to flee, so they had a big disadvantage. President Truman decided on a new war aim: to liberate the North from communists.
In July of 1951, Truman and his military commanders started peace talks. After more than 2 years of negotiations over whether prisoners of war should be forcibly repatriated, they signed an armistice on July 27, 1953. This allowed the prisoners of war to stay wherever they liked, drew a new boundary that gave South Korea an extra 1,500 miles of territory, and created a 2-mile-wide demilitarized zone. The Korean War was short but bloody. There were nearly 5 million deaths, 40,000 of which were American.
Dear Mom, well, I suppose you wonder where I am and where I have been. I will start at the beginning. We left for Korea the 1st of July. We were the first regiment to hit there and fight. The North Koreans had about 10 divisions to our one regiment. About all we could do was hit them and back up, and they would get us surrounded all the time. And now we will get to Daehan, one place I will never forget. Good-sized town. We were there for about 4 days. Last 2 days we were there we called Hill. Morning of July 19th, I woke up. Enemy planes came over and strafed a little, and they shot down one of our own jet fighter planes. Nothing left of him when he came down. Courtesy of Andrew Carroll, The Legacy Project, February 20th, 1951, Korea. My dearest wife and family, just a line to let you know I have been wounded and am in the hospital in Japan. I was shot through the right thigh with a single sniper bullet. I am thankful to be alive. We had to break up a roadblock near Hakon, where 300 Chinese are supposed to have been dug in. They had a regiment of the 3rd Division cut off, and we had to make contact with them without delay. Everything was thrown at them before the infantry tried and tanks went in. Planes, artillery, and mortars in big doses. Then the 3rd Battalion went in, with the L Company on tanks. I was on the tank about 8 minutes, then I was hit. I screamed at them to stop the tank so I could get off and crawl into a ditch. Taylor of my squad also got wounded while helping to carry me out. After Taylor got hit, there was not enough men to carry me, so they dropped me and said they would send help or come back with more help. I lay there for a short while, and then dragged myself about 10 yards to a little better cover, and I lay there till well after dark. I saw some guys walking around against the dim light of the sky. I yelled for help again, and they started toward me. They had long, fixed bayonets, and by there, a Chinese medic came in and put a fresh bandage on my leg and put me in a litter. I was carried into the one house that was left standing, where they made a warm fire and covered me up as best they could. My wet clothes made it very difficult for me to get warm, but I am sure that they did, for me, save my life. American artillery and mortar shells were landing in the general area all night long. They, as in the Chinese, left about 2 o'clock. I waited until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and a GI patrol came in to give the village the once-over. I opened the door and yelled for help. This time they heard me and found me. I thanked God. In less than 5 minutes I had a drink of water, a morphine shot, a cigarette, and a fresh bandage on my leg, and a litter jeep on the way to pick me up. Well, I'm going to close for now, my darling, and we'll try to write again tomorrow. I think it would be proper and fitting if you would let as many of the family and friends as possible read this letter. I love you and have an idea that I will be seeing you soon. Love to all, Paul. P.S. What's left of the squad would still like to have your cookies. A letter from Bob to his wife for Valentine's Day. My dearest darling, here I am once again, sweetheart. I wrote you a letter earlier, so I figured while I still had time, I might as well draw you a Valentine card. Our patrol has not returned yet. I hope they didn't hit any trouble on their mission. Honey, this will probably get to you too late for the 14th of February. But I want you to know that I'll be thinking of you on that day and wishing so much for you. I hope you like this Valentine card I drew. I can't do much better here on the hill using my lap as a table. The sun is still shining nice. I'll finish this later, darling. We just got word to move out. How far forward we are going, I don't know. I'll let you know later. So long, dear. I'll see you later on. I love you. Back again, baby. We just walked up to the road a couple of miles. Gee, I sure am hungry. Didn't have much for breakfast and no dinner as yet, and it's starting to turn windy. Yours forever. I love you. Your Bob. XOXO. On December 6, 1951, Ken arrives in Korea as a foot soldier on the front lines. He remains there until he is wounded on June 12, 1952. 18th of December, 1951. Dearest, we've been up on the MLR now for 2 days. We're sitting on a hill overlooking a real wide valley. The Koreans are on one side of the valley and we're on the other side. It must be about 4,000 yards wide or so. We control the valley in the daytime and the Koreans control it by night. We got here about 6 a.m. Sunday and immediately got put on a listening post about a quarter of a mile out in front of the lines. We sat there for about 27 hours, talking about being scared at night. I was so scared I could hardly talk. The Koreans hit us on both sides, but they didn't hit us. We couldn't see their machine guns from a ways off, but we didn't shoot. We're living in bunkers now. All they are glorified foxholes, but they keep us pretty warm. The days are pretty mild and the nights are cold. We don't get much water up here, just enough to drink, not enough to wash in. So I've got dirty hands, as they haven't been washed in about 4 days. So you'll have to excuse it if this paper is rather dirty. I haven't got your Florida address yet, as we're missing a week's mail. Maybe I'll get it tonight. Well, honey, I've got to close now, and work come more on my bunker. Don't forget, honey, I love you now and always. Bye for now. All my love, Ken.
I was walking along, minding my business, when out of an orange-colored sky, flash, bang, alakazam, wonderful you came by. I was humming a tune, drinking in sunshine, when out of that orange-colored view, flash, a bang, alakazam, and goodbye. Wow, I thought love was much softer than that. What a most disturbing sound.